Hello, good evening, and welcome everyone to the exciting mega launch, one more launch of this September month. I hope you all are excited for all the launches that we have already bring in, and now one more addition to our launches. So, if you haven't, still has promoted this session in your teams, as a reminder, do share in your teams, and we are starting with this mega launch of Nutrilite pre-probiotic. To start with all of you and with your huge round of applause, I would like to invite Mr. Ajay Khanna sir, Chief Marketing Officer, Amway India, on this virtual stage to start this launch session of Nutrilite pre-probiotics. Thank you, sir. Welcome and over to you.
Good evening and a very, very happy new year to each one of you. What a start we have had to this year. Yesterday was a big dhamaka, a big day of sale. And we have grown much higher than our last September. So I'm sure this September is going to be a mega September for all of us. And why shouldn't it be? With such mega launches, Daily Plus, you've kind of welcomed it with open arms. And of course, we are going to create a record by the end of the month, I'm sure, with your love and your affection towards Daily Plus and how it's going to transform our lives, keep us on path of healthy living. And now to add to that, we are in the pre-launch meeting. So yeah, there's still more wait, I can tell you. And this launch is actually probably going to be the most awaited launch because it is a launch in a space where we had a product, a very strong product, fiber. Unfortunately, it's TNA right now. But what we are trying to do is we are trying to kind of make sure that while we are trying to get more fiber back, at least we can kind of advance this launch. This launch was kind of scheduled for 20th, but the team is working aggressively to kind of pull that up so that you get this powerful product, which is pre and probiotic packaged together. It's one of its kind product. It's a unique product with a unique strain IS2, and it is going to start a beautiful relationship, I can tell you. I've experienced this product and I can tell you my gut loves me. It says thank you to me because we know gut is where everything begins. A good gut means a sharper mind. It means clarity of thought. It means stronger intent. It means really a very high quality of life. And coming from the portfolio of Nutrilite at a price which no one can ever even think of or visualize is really actually going to transform not only our lives, our gut, our relationships, our energy, our immunity, our digestion. There are 7 mega benefits at a very small price. So it is more than anything else, it's going to transform your business. And with that, I will kind of hand it over to Arjun, who's really going to talk about what exactly this product is going to do from a scientific perspective, from a claims perspective. So Arjun and Kumar are going to kind of take the show forward. I'm really excited for the year. We are going to make a big September together. And for that, I will kind of hand it over back to Arjun. Arjun,
Thank
over to
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. And as you rightly said, this is going to be another mega launch for this month and to make this September even bigger, successful month. With this disclaimer on here, I will move into some of the data base, right? That why the gut is become such an important organ and need to be, keep into a fit so that, our rest of the organs in the body helps, right? And get better. Now, if you look at the Indian gut data, it's actually you will find that it is across the body type. Like, when we say that the normal BMI or obese or underweight, you will see these gut issues are actually across this BMI range, which means that even if you are fit in terms of your BMI range, like you look at this data, it's 48%. are in the normal range are still suffering from the stomach related problems. Of course, this goes higher when it comes to an obese or an overweight people, which is 57%. And nevertheless, even in people who are underweight, about 45% people is still. So this is like a, we can say that the TG, a target group, or the number of people who have this gut related issues or stomach related problems are across the BMI range, right? Now, what's globally this story looks like? Again, very similar to an Indian gut story. The global gut story also is that about 40% people worldwide suffer from a functional gastrointestinal disorder affecting their quality of life. Okay, then let's decode the gut. Let's look at what does the gut which we are talking about. Is it our stomach? Is it our intestine? Is it our small intestine or a large intestine? No, gut actually starts from the esophagus. Like you look at this, from the moment we chew the food, and the esophagus is an part of a gut which helps transport that food into a stomach. Then stomach is a part where the food actually get mixed with the acid and enzymes, digestive enzymes, to start the digestion process. And of course, then once that happened, about in 2 hours, that food get transported to a small intestine, and then it goes to a larger intestine, and finally, all the nutritions, and once nutritions are absorbed, the unused or the food which is completely absorbed in a good food is absorbed, the unused part is get excreted. Now this gut is actually, if you look at, 9 to 8 meter long. Just imagine, this is like one of the longest organ in the body, right? And if we unfold this, right, to the because it has got kind of surface area, that if you unfold all of this, the gut, then it can cover the complete entire tennis court. So look at the surface area, right? While we know that the biggest organ, in the body is skin, but if you unfold this gut, it becomes even a bigger, in terms of surface area. And of course, it rests the lot of good bacteria into it, and this bacteria is in trillions, in numbers, which is basically more than the number of cells which we have in our body. This bacteria is even more than that, right? So let's say that the digestive system, when we are seeing that it is such an important, the organ, and it has such a vital role, how it is also important for your brain health. It actually is called second brain. And if we talk about in a common language also, what typically happens, if your gut or your stomach is not well, if your digestion is not well, if you have the acid bowel syndrome, or if you have a gastric issues, tell me, do you really feel good that time? Is that you are 100% there, whatever you're doing? No. So that's what the gut brain actually access is, what we call it, which means that the gut actually impact our mood, our feeling, and vice versa. If we have a upset mood, or if we are under stress, it also affect our digestion system, right? So they are very closely related and connected. So when you have a gut feeling about something, your gut is actually talking to your brain, right? Okay, so why gut is important, right? Why does it matter? As I talked about, it is basically a host, or it's a home for trillions of bacteria, viruses, fungi, and other microbiome organisms, collectively called microbiota, right, in the GI tract. But there are two predominant phylotypes, which are bacteroids and firmicutes, which play even an important role in our gut health, and also eventually related to our overall health and lifestyle. And we will talk about that in detail. So what is a gut dysbiosis? So basically what happened, we talked about two predominant phylotypes, what? Bacteroids and firmicutes. When these two phylotypes become imbalanced, so what happened? There is a standard balance between these two in these two the microbiomes in terms of their quantity, right? So when this get disturbed, got imbalance between a good and bad microbiomes, then the lack of diversity in bacteria happened, and the deficiency of beneficial gut microbiota, and also that increase basically of harmful bacteria. This in totality is called dysbiosis, right? And of course, all diseases begin in gut, is what Hippocrates said, which is known as a father of modern medicine. So if you talk about bloating, constipation, cramps, food sensitivity, allergies, joint pain, fatigue, arthritis, colitis, autoimmune disorders, skin problem, acne, angina, hormonal imbalance, and weight gain, everything begins with gut. Like there isn't say that the way to an the human heart goes through your gut, right? Right? We also believe the ways to the human health also goes through your gut, and that's where we think that this balance between bacteroids and firmicutes has to be an optimal. This balance needs to be achieved. If we look at this bacteroids and the firmicutes, what happened when we born? We born with the ratio of bacteroids higher and the firmicutes at lower height. Why does that happen? Because when we are talking about bacteroids, what typically that do? They are a bacteria which are responsible for digestion of fiber and vegetables and your plant-based diet, while the firmicutes are responsible for digestion of fats, right? Now, when this we come with a lot of bacteroids that also play a big role in our the gut, where they form actually a barrier layer, right? And that barrier layer which they form across your intestine ensure that when we are absorbing the nutrient and the good nutrition from the stomach or intestine, the toxins which is produced through the digestion process does not get absorbed. So they are actually our first defense mechanism in terms of immunity, right? Now, why they are in the higher quantity, as I said that this because they are primarily responsible for digestion of vegetables and the fibrous food, which is very less in, if you look at the non-vegetarian. The only thing which is actually almost nil is basically a fiber, which is there in your non-vegetarian food, and also a high fat diet, right? Now, firmicutes is responsible for digestion of that, which means that we are expected by birth to eat lot of fiber, lot of vegetables, lot of fruits, and that's where we have been born with a lot of quantity of bacteroids and the lesser quantity of firmicutes, because we are expected to eat less of a fat, right? Whatever the fat, oil which we receive from our food also, like typically a plant also contain lot of essential oils. That is what amount of fat needs to be digested, and that's where firmicutes play a role. But what happened? As we start eating lot of junk food, lot of fried food, lot of processed food, lot of fat, high fat food, right? This firmicutes quantity started get increasing, because now that food, that high fat need to be digested, and only firmicute can do this. Now, firmicutes are basically very hard-working bacteria. So what they do, they digest almost all the fat which we typically eat, and they increase their quantity by themselves when we are eating lot of fat, high fat food. And because their quantity increase and we are not eating the fiber and plant-based diet, what happened? The bacteroids naturally start reducing, because their use is not there. That's not a problem that because they're just reducing, so it's fine, we are still can survive with the fat food diet. The problem is that when they reduce in the quantity, the defense mechanism which we talked about, the first layer of defense, that also get reduced, that layer get thin, and the body start absorbing, even the gut start getting, transporting even the toxins which are produced into a bloodstream. And that's where we see a lot of this other disorders start coming up. So what typically, when we talk about unhealthy gut, of course, constipation is one of the symptoms. You see that if you are having constant constipation, you have to understand that you have to listen to your gut. If you are having very frequent bloating, indigestions, heartburn kind of things, not able to manage your weight. If you are having you think that you are eating very less, but still your weight is disproportionately increasing, which means that hard-working bad bacteria like firmicutes are a lot in your quantity in your gut, and what they are doing, whatever small amount of fat, even if you are eating now, they are ensuring that is get absorbed and get into your bloodstream, and that eventually a low immunity, because we talked about, because when the bacteroids will reduce, the first layer of defense against the all these toxins get actually thinner. So what we have to do, we have to increase our good bacteria, which we call bacteroids, and reduce the the bad bacteria, which we call chronic firmicutes. Now, why we needed 15%, even if they're bad? Because they still have a role to play, because there will be some amount of oil, even if you'll take a, like as good as an almond, if you'll take, there will be a vitamin E and there will be a small amount of fat. So these bacteria are required. But we have to increase our good bacteria into a many-fold. Now, how we can do that, right? To support our health. Of course, which means that we have to eat balanced diet. Now, that's what we can understand now, why we have to have a very balanced diet. We are talking about, coloring our diet from years. We are talking about, including 5 different types of fruits and vegetables into our diet. The reason being this, right? Of course, we have to follow a healthy lifestyle, which means you have to do some walk. You have to do some, exercises, yoga, pranayam. All of that also helps in your bowel movement, right? Not only that, what we also understood, there's a gut and brain axis is there. So when you do a walk, like say 15 minutes of walk, have a very positive impact on your brain, in terms of your good mood. You always feel good when you do exercise and do a walk, right? If your mind is healthy, happy, what we understood, there's a gut brain axis, and that's where the good bacteria also flourish. So it is very important to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Sleep well, of course, that is again very important, because when we sleep, that's where we provide a time for body to recover from that's where the most of the metabolic activity happen, and body goes into a recovery mode, and that's where it helps into growing your good bacteria also. Of course, avoid negative habits, like it decreases smoking, alcohol in excess, or lot of fat food stuff. You have to, all that negative habits has to go. And another most important thing is what? You have to include prebiotic and probiotic in your daily routine. Now let's understand what is prebiotic and probiotic. So prebiotics are basically ingredients, or the plant-based fibers, which are actually a food for this good bacteria, as we discussed about. So which means that if you don't provide a food, what will happen? This good bacteria are going to die, because they are not getting their right food, right? So prebiotic has to be there. What is probiotic? Because we have, over a period of time, we have already deteriorated these bacteria into a minuscule quantities. The life strain, when we introduce back into our gut, is called probiotics. So these are basically a life strain of good bacteria, which we consume, which we take to increase their quantity into our gut. And with that, I wanted to introduce you the launching of new Nutrilite pre and probiotic capsules. And I will invite my friend, my colleague, Kumar, on the stage to take it forward and talk about this product. Thank you so much. Over to you, Kumar.
Thank you, Arjun. And a very, very good evening to every one of you. Let me just project my screen before we start. Just a second. Yeah, is my screen visible?
Yes.
It's visible, right? Okay. Yeah, okay. So a very, very good evening to each one of you. And once again, a very, very happy new year to all of you. Now, we all know that September is the month which we all wait for, because it starts, it marks the start of a new journey. And I'm sure the way we have started this September, as Ajay sir rightly said at the beginning of the meeting, this year is going to be a very, very successful year for all of us and for Amway India, right? Now, when we talk about success, right, when we talk about success in our business, when we talk about success with our health, uh, so what is important is that uh, now, whenever we talk about success, what do we need for this success? We need very, very good products, right? And for the same reason, if we have seen in the month of September, we started with the successful launch of the new Daily Plus. And now over here, we are here. And now today we are here to do this pre-launch of Nutrilite Pre and Probiotic capsules. Now, many of you, I am sure that when we did the A70 meet across more than 60 cities, like across the country, you have heard about the product. Many of this information you already have, but our main intention today will be that we will try to do a much more deeper understanding for this product, what we have used in this product, how this product is beneficial, what are the different ingredients, and how it is actually helping us to achieve all our health goals. So, so with that, let me just change my screen. Okay. So now coming to, if we start by just giving you an overview of the product, that what this product is all about. First of all, it is a capsule, right? And now when we say that this is a capsule, it is a 2-piece capsule, but it is a vegetarian capsule. Now, this is a very, very important point, because we have used a vegetarian capsule which can be taken by everyone, right? So that is number one. Number 2 point is, this product is to support our gut health. Now, when we say it can support your gut health, what have we used over here which can actually help for this gut health? The first point is that it has got a probiotic ingredient. We will talk in detail about all these like ingredients in our like next slides. But this probiotic ingredient that we are talking about, it contains something which is known as Bacillus coagulans unique IS2. This is a very, very friendly bacteria and is extremely good for our digestive system. So that is the first ingredient that we have used. And the second one which we have used is, we have added something which is known as FOS. Now, what is the full form of FOS? FOS stands for fructooligosaccharides. So this is basically a food which helps this good bacteria grow and thrive, right? Now, with that, let us talk a little bit deep about what this probiotic is all about. Now, as Arjun rightly said a few minutes back, what is this probiotic? A probiotic means it is live beneficial bacteria, right? It is the live bacteria that we are taking, which will be beneficial in our body. Whenever we talk about any bacteria, the first thing that comes to our mind is that bacteria will be bad, right? But in our body, there are trillions of bacteria inside us, which are very, very useful for our body. And these useful bacteria, when we take, these are known as probiotics. Now, if you look at the strain which we have used, it is Bacillus coagulans unique IS2, and the quantity that we are using over here is 2 billion CFU. Now, what does this CFU stands for? This CFU stands for colony forming unit, right? Because when these bacteria are taken, like all bacteria in our body, they live in the form of colonies. They form colonies in our intestine. So it is measured in that way. It is actually 2 billion colony forming units. Now, why have we used this 2 billion? This question might come to your mind later on, that why not 1 billion? Why not half billion? Why not 4 billion? Why not 5 billion? Why not 10 billion? So basically, all the claims that we are making for this product, right? Because this product has been extensively researched and again studied. Now, when we talk about all these claims that this product can actually give you, so all these studies have been done with 2 billion CFU of Bacillus coagulans, which shows that this is the right amount of like strain that is actually required to give you all the benefits that we are going to talk about, right? Going a little bit deep into this strain, if we talk about what this strain is all about, the first thing is that if we talk about the species, so it has got two parts, right? If you talk about the first part, which is Bacillus coagulans, this is known as the species. Now, this species, if you see, this is a gram-positive bacteria. Now, there are two kinds of bacteria, as we know. Some are known as gram-positive, some are known as gram-negative. Now, what is this gram-positive, gram-negative? It is basically dependent on the structure of the cell wall of the bacteria. And this is a gram-positive bacteria. That is first point. The second point is that it is a spore-forming bacteria. Now, this is one point which we will talk in detail in today's presentation, because what does this spore form means? This spore form means that it is actually it can actually create a resistant protective shell around it whenever there is whenever the environment is not viable for its growth, right? Whenever there is a harsh condition in the environment, it can create a protective shell around it, right? Which helps them to survive in extreme conditions, like extreme temperature, like extreme pH, right? And the strain which we are talking about, this unique IS2, this has been selected particularly. Bacillus coagulans can have different strains. Now, why did we select this unique IS2? Because the first thing is that it is a very, very well studied gastrointestinal, it has been studied for gastrointestinal survival, because when you take the capsule, when you take the probiotic, it has to survive through your stomach, right? We will talk in detail about this. And it must have all the probiotic activities at the right point. So whether it is going to do that or not, yes. So that is why we have used this strain. The number 3 point is, what is the source? If someone asks that what is the source of this bacteria, of course it is found naturally in the Indian environment. This point is again very, very important. Indian environment. So it is not a strain which cannot survive in the Indian environment. It is a strain which has been studied in the Indian population, and it is a strain which is found naturally in the Indian environment. Hence, it is very, very stable. And like any other bacteria, of course, how do you grow bacteria? By fermentation, right? So it is grown by batch fermentation. And for growing bacteria, for doing this fermentation, of course, you need some food on which these bacteria will feed on, right? So it is prepared in the same way. And the fourth point, which is written over here, resistance, which I already spoke about. Basically, these can create some protective layering or protective shell around the same to protect it against the stomach acids and the bile acids, right? Now, there are a lot of benefits of this product. I am not reading this slide because all these points we are again going to see in our subsequent slides and discuss in detail. Now, let us understand this point, because this is very, very important. As I was saying, that any probiotic, right? There are many probiotic which are available in the market, which you can order, which you can take. But the thing is that the first concern that is there with probiotics is that whether this probiotic bacteria will be alive when they reach our gut, right? Because that is very, very important, because it has to go through a process. Now, you are putting this probiotic inside a capsule, but during the manufacturing process, is it stable? The next question can be, it is transported, right, from the manufacturing unit to the shop or maybe to some other place. It is actually transported, it is stored. Even after you buy the product, you store it in your home, right? Because you don't take all 30 capsules together, whatever you are buying. So you will have to store in your home as well, whether it is stable during that time. And also, when you take the capsule, whether it is stable in the low pH of stomach, because we all know that stomach is acidic, and anything that passes through the stomach, it has to pass through that acidic environment. Now, whether it is actually stable in that or not, because most of the prebiotics which are there these are extremely sensitive to temperature, right? There are two things. One is the temperature, and the other thing is pH, whether it is stable in acidic medium, whether it is stable in extreme alkaline medium. So this is a very, very important concern that always remains while choosing a species and strain of probiotic. Now, this Bacillus coagulans, as we discussed, this is known as a spore forming probiotic. Spore forming means that these have a natural protective outer layer or shell which helps them to be dormant when the conditions are detrimental to their viability. It means that when the temperature is not what they want, when the pH is not what they want, then what they will do, they will actually protect themselves by making a protective shell around them, and it will remain intact, right? So that there is no damage. It can actually survive the extreme conditions of temperature and pH. That is the main thing. If you have seen a tortoise, right, if you try to touch the tortoise, what does it do? Whenever it feels that the environment is not safe, it quickly takes its heads back, right? Now, why do the tortoise do that? Because he feels that this environment is not good for me, hence it protects itself. So in the same way, this bacteria also has got that ability of protecting itself by creating a shell around the same, right? Now they become vegetative. Vegetative means it is a growth stage. Now it can become vegetative when the conditions are optimal for their growth. So when it reaches the perfect place where the temperature is okay according to what they need, when there is a right pH which is there, it actually goes into a growth stage or a vegetative state, what we call about. And they survive through the stomach acid until it reaches the gut, where it teams up with your own bacteria, because there are a lot of bacteria which is already present. So it teams up with them and provides the health benefits which are there. Now, what we have spoken till now, we will try to see through a visual, right? Now, how does this Bacillus coagulans unique IS2 passes through the gastrointestinal tract, and how does it function? Let us see that. So when we take the capsule, right, Arjun was saying, so immediately after the mouth, there is this esophagus. So it passes through there, right? And immediately where the esophagus ends, the organ which is there, very, very important organ, is the stomach, right? So it reaches the stomach. But in the stomach is highly acidic. So over there, when the capsule actually opens up, right? As you can see over here, this pre and probiotic comes out from the capsule after the capsule is disintegrated in the stomach, and over there is this stomach acid. But what happens is that due to the unique strain which we have used, unique IS2 strain, what happens is that it is a spore forming bacteria, hence this acid cannot harm it. It can actually survive this extreme condition, and it passes down to the small intestine. Now, when it passes to the intestine, over there, it finds the environment which is good for it, and it automatically becomes a vegetative. It goes to the vegetative state or a growth stage, and it starts its normal functioning, right? So that is how this bacteria actually works, and that is why this very, very unique strain we have used. Now, coming to the second ingredient, which we were talking about, there were two ingredients. One was the probiotic, which we have spoken about. The second ingredient, which we have used in our product, is the prebiotic, which is the food for good bacteria, right? When we were, when we used to go to school, or maybe when we send our kids to school, what do? We pack tiffin, right? Every morning we pack some tiffin so that when our kid is in the school, they can have the tiffin, right? And get energy. So over here, what we have done is that this 100 milligram of fructooligosaccharide or FOS that we are talking about, this is the food for the good bacteria, which we have packed as a tiffin and given in the same capsule. So it goes along with the good bacteria, and the good bacteria can actually feed on this, and it can actually replicate, it can actually grow, right? This FOS, if we talk a little bit about like detail about this fructooligosaccharide, This is a oligosaccharide, right? Now, what is this oligosaccharide? Oligosaccharide is a chain, but a chain of monosaccharide, but with not a huge number of monosaccharides which are there. Usually, there are around 2 to 10 fructose units. Now, when you talk about this fructose, these fructose are what? These are monosaccharides, right? So there are not a huge number of monosaccharide, but only 2 to 10 of these units, which is fructose, which is bonded, if you see, to sucrose, right? Sucrose is a disaccharide, so it is bonded like that. And what is the source of this? This is purified from sugarcane. Now, if you talk about any fiber, right, even the fiber which we have, so if someone asks me that what is a fiber, the first thing that comes to our mind is fiber is a carbohydrate, right? But fiber is a very, very special kind of carbohydrate. Why special? Because our body doesn't have any enzyme which can break down that kind of carbohydrate or fiber. That is why it goes unchanged. That is why it is not systematically absorbed in our body, and therefore it doesn't contribute to any calorie, right? Now, the mechanism for function for this FOS is, it is once again resistant to human digestive enzyme. As I said, there is nothing in your body, there is no enzyme in your body which can break down this. Hence, it is resistant to the human digestive enzymes. It is selectively fermented by beneficial gut microflora. As Arjun was saying, there are different kinds of bacteria in our body. The beneficial gut microflora, they actually feed on these fibers or these fructooligosaccharides, and this helps in the growth of this beneficial bacteria. So Bacillus coagulans, unique IS2, if we summarize, it is a robust species and strain. It is a multifunctional probiotic because it has got a lot of functions which we have seen in one slide, but we will discuss, as I said, right, in our upcoming slides. There is, of course, FOS, this fructooligosaccharide, which has got extensively researched prebiotic with proven benefits. So FOS has got huge number of benefits which it can provide in our body. Particularly, it helps in the feeding of this good bacteria in the gut. And number 3 point is pre and probiotic together, it is coming for optimal gut and immune health, right? Isolated and characterized in India. This point is also very, very important. See, there are multiple strains which are available globally, right? Some other market may have some other strain as well, even within Amway, even within Nutrilite. But this particular strain, why we have particularly selected is that it is isolated and it is characterized for India, right? So hence, since we are marketing this product in India, it has to basically be stable in the Indian environment. Hence, we have selected this. It is a well-studied and characterized and a unique probiotic. It is a very, very well-studied product. Believe me, all these claims that we are making, these are all through studies, right? These are all through research which has gone behind this, and hence we have selected this. And Bacillus coagulans IS2, this has shown to have the ability to transform lactose and fructose sugar. We will talk about this. How does it help in carbohydrate metabolism? How does it help in protein metabolism? It is the same point that is written over here, that it actually helps in the transforming these lactose and fructose sugar into its metabolites, showing the effect of carbohydrate digestion, because that is also very, very important. Now, coming to 7 mega benefits of this Bacillus coagulans unique IS2 that we have. The first is, of course, it is helpful, right? It is clinically demonstrated. Now, this word is very, very important, because we are not telling that it may do or may not do. We are saying that it is clinically demonstrated to improve bowel function. Now, what is this bowel function? If we talk about like different kind of bowel function, we will talk about constipation as well in the next slide. But over here, let us talk about pain related to IBS. We all know irritable bowel syndrome is very, 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 very common, right? Maybe we know that we have IBS, maybe we do not know that we have IBS, but many of us are suffering from IBS. It can be of different types. IBS can be a constipation predominant IBS. it can be a diarrhea predominant IBS, it can be pain predominant IBS, it can be mixed IBS as well. Now, when it comes to all these symptoms, if we talk about pain, this pain related to IBS, it has been seen that it improves this kind of bowel function and it improves pain related to IBS. So that is first part. The second thing, if we talk about the second bowel function, which is constipation, many people around us or maybe many people suffer from this condition, which is constipation. And once again, this Bacillus coagulans unique IS2 has been clinically demonstrated to improve symptoms of constipation. Now, this is a very, very strong claim. All these two claims, like whatever we have seen, these are very, very powerful statements and very, very powerful claims which this product brings us to us, right? The third part is, of course, since it is a beneficial bacteria, it influences the diversity of the gut microbiota. Hence, it influences the beneficial bacteria in the gut, because ultimately the goal is, we have all seen in Arjun's presentation, that we will have to improve the amount of beneficial bacteria in the gut for our health, and it actually helps in that. The fourth part, which is there, the fourth point, if we talk about Bacillus coagulans unique IS2 supports in digestion, right? Now, digestion is something which is very, very important, and in the gut, there are a lot of things for this digestion which actually happens, right? Peristaltic movement is happening, which pushes the food forward. There are a lot of like enzymes which are working over there. Food is getting like food metabolism is happening over there. There are a lot of nutrients which are getting absorbed over there. So this digestion process is actually supported by Bacillus coagulans unique IS2. Very, very important point. The fifth point, it supports immunity, right? Because gut plays a very, very vital function in providing immunity to our body. And if our body do not have the right bacteria or the good bacteria coverage in the gut, if that layer is not there, lot of this immunomodulatory like functions which gets impacted in our body. And but taking this kind of product, taking this kind of strain, Bacillus coagulans unique IS2, it can actually support immunity in our body. Helps in digestion of protein and carbs. Once again, any food that we are taking, protein and carbs play a very, very vital role, right, in our body for providing these nutrients. In fact, both of these are macronutrients that we know, and it actually helps in the digestion of both this protein and carbs. And the seventh point, which is also very, very important, is that Bacillus coagulans have shown to have anti-inflammatory properties in the gut, because inflammation in the gut is another condition which many of us suffer from. And this inflammation, if it continues, it can be very, very harmful, that we all understand. But these bacteria have shown to have anti-inflammatory properties in the gut, right? And what is most important is that this product comes from which brand? This product comes from the brand of Nutrilite, right? Nutrilite is the world's #1 selling vitamin and dietary supplementation brand, and we are all proud of it. And we all know that this year, starting September, we are celebrating 90 years of Nutrilite. So this is another product which is actually adding, which we are adding to the kitty of Nutrilite. And of course, we are actually having the experience of combining both nature and technology, right? What is the Nutrilite difference? If we talk about, because there can be other products also which are available in the market, right? If not unique IS2, but maybe some other product. But what difference does this Nutrilite mean, right? So the first part is, it uses non-GMO and vegetarian ingredients. That is first. The second point, if you see, this has got extensive testing for contaminants and rigorous quality control. We always talk about that whenever we talk about the DNA of Nutrilite brand, the testing and the quality control, this is something which we always talk about, right? And this product, naturally, since it comes from Nutrilite, it has gone through all those stages. It has got a complete shelf stability report. So in that way, it is absolutely stable. Ensured product safety and efficacy. There is no artificial color, flavor, preservative, sweetener that has been used in this product. Once again, the DNA of Nutrilite, as we always speak about, and it is fully vegetarian, right? Now, all these seven mega benefits that we were talking about, if you look at the price of this product, I think this is a very interesting and exciting slide, because even if you calculate the per day cost of, or maybe per use cost, right, per day, if you are taking one capsule, even if you calculate on MRP, the cost is only 21 rupees 63 paise, because the MRP is only 649 rupees, and it comes in a convenient 30-day pack. And of course, the buyer's price, including taxes, will be only 607 rupees, and the NSV is full with 473, and the points is also full with 5.56, right? So with that, I will end my presentation over here. I'm sure that this product is going to bring a lot of excitement. In fact, what I would say is there is already a lot of excitement to like around this product, and we are getting a lot of calls from all of you that when this product is coming and when will this product be available for sale. Like today we have done our national, like we are doing this national launch. This is the English session that we did. Immediately after this there will be a Hindi session as well, and after that we will be teaming up with our regional teams, and we will be also doing a lot of other awareness sessions like this, because so that when the product comes, we are all ready with all this knowledge, and we can actually go to our customers and start speaking about this product, right? So with that, I will end my presentation over here. Thank you so much for joining us today, and over to you, Shimali.
Thank you so very much, Ajay sir, Arjun sir, and Kumar sir, for such a wonderful information about this new product. And thank you so much to all the participants who have joined us today in this launch.
I think there is some network issue at Shimali's end. But yes, okay. So thank you so much once again for joining, and looking forward for a great launch with this product. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Kumar. Bye-bye.